That's a good question.
Those are significant milestones.
Oh, that's a great question. It was incredible.
Welcome to your Queen's Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina. I'm here with Jim. How you going?
I'm doing great, Carolyn. How are you?
I'm doing good. What does the Assistant Athletic Director for Broadcasting do?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. I do a whole lot of different things. There's some days I am setting up a camera for a sporting event. Some days I'm hiring our announcers. I work with a lot of students, cultivate relationships with both the academic side of the school and people in the community to try to gain interest in Queens athletics through ESPN Plus, through our Queens Sports Network that people are watching right now, and people like you.
What have been some of the highlights for Queens Sports Network?
Let's see. This year, well, we hosted the the Atlantic Sun Conference tip-off day this year, which is really cool. We had all 12 men's and women's basketball teams here. Went through the whole day where we did interviews with each team, breakdowns, all that kind of stuff. That was really cool. We also had the quarterfinals of rugby of the national championship here last fall, which was really cool. But some of the biggest highlights is seeing, we've had some students come in that have never even touched a camera or anything, and now they can cover a sport. They didn't know what to do when we handed them a microphone, and now they can do interviews. Those are some of the bigger highlights that we've had through the year.
Me included.
Yeah, you have been fantastic.
What have you enjoyed the most about working at Queens and with the athletic department?
I've loved seeing some of the growth. Not only, I was brought in when they were still transitioning from D2 to D1 the first year. I came to kind of bring up the broadcasts. What I've seen is a whole lot of growth, not only in the students like yourself, but also in the teams. Like some of the teams have made huge strides in 2 years, 3 years in getting to D1 and competing at a very high level very quickly. That's very impressive to see, especially at a school as small as Queens.
What has been the weirdest event you've ever covered?
Oh boy. Let's see. Before I worked here at Queens, I produced 2 years of a YouTube influencer boxing. So it was people I had no idea who they were at all, but they were, 10 million followers or subscribers on Instagram and YouTube and all these people. And they literally had like zero training. We put on the whole event where they would come, we worked with them for like ring entrances and all kinds of weird stuff, and they involved random people with them. One guy came down with the guy that created the Pokemon song. He was actually in the guy's corner. Some guys came down with professional wrestlers. It was just a very strange thing. We had mascots and all kinds of other things involved, and it was a very interesting 5 hours of boxing.
I know you spent some time with ESPN. How did you get into it, and was that always something you wanted to do?
Well, I was originally, when I came out of high school a million years ago, I worked in computers, and I thought I wanted to be technology, but after 3 years of sitting behind a laptop and just typing nonstop, I was like, I don't want to do this. I went back to grad school for broadcast communications, and that's where I got in and met some people at ESPN, and after I worked my first event, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. One of my first events on the road for ESPN was the Little League World Series, and once you spend 2 weeks there with all those little kids playing baseball and how cool it was that I was like, I'm hooked. This is what I want to do forever. I've always liked sports. I've always been involved in sports, but this was the one. Once I got there and started working, I was like, oh, this is perfect. It was a great combination of technology, but with sports. So it was really kind of the way that I wanted to go after that.
Speaking of technology, how awesome is the broadcasting room we have over there?
Oh man, it is, for a school this size, we are one of the best in the country. It is awesome. We have all kinds of toys that we play with. We're doing 5 and 6 camera broadcasts now. You know, there's some things I'd still like to get, but we're working on it, and it's really a cool thing to have.
I've been told you're able to predict what the announcer says before they even broadcast it. If you were an announcer, what sport would you like to announce for?
Well, football has always been my first love, but like, I think now that I've watched other random sports, I think those are sometimes more fun. When we come in the morning, we usually put on some sport of anything if it's live, we're gonna go try watch it. So there's a sport in India and Pakistan called kabaddi, and it's basically grown men playing tag on like a tennis court. You gotta like touch the end line and get back and all this stuff, and the other guys have to stop you from doing it. I don't really understand any of it, but those weird sports have now become like my love. Like I want to do as many weird things as we possibly can. So that's kind of the way I'd lean.
A little hurt you didn't say golf.
I'm loud. I am naturally a loud person. I cannot sit there and be like, on the 3rd hole, up steps Carolyn. Like, I can't do that, okay?
What do the Buffalo Bills need to do to get back to the Super Bowl?
Oh, wow. Beat the Chiefs. That's it. They got one team they can't beat every year, and that's the problem. They're that close.
Yes, Jim, I did write that question.
Yeah, I thought so. Thanks, Jake.
What is the best restaurant in Charlotte?
Oh man. Well, I will tell you, I'm a bit of a foodie. I've been to a whole lot of places around Charlotte. One of my favorites, okay, so this is very specific, but the mozzarella preparation at Little Mama's, where it's fresh mozz. It comes with some accompaniments on the side. It's what it says on the menu. You sit there at the bar, you get whatever their seasonal cocktail is, and that mozzarella that thing is just awesome. The mozzarella preparation, that's one of my favorites. And the other problem is that I'm not a big Asian food fan. So, and I know there's some really good ones here in Charlotte that I just I slip by because I don't like a lot of Asian cuisine. So, but there are some. I got a few other good ones. Have you ever been to State of Confusion? Mm-mm. Okay, yeah, that's a good place. That's a really good one. I'd recommend. Let me think. Is there anything else? I mean, you can go to the famous ones that are like $300 a person, but go to some of the small places better. There's all kind. I'm from Buffalo, so there's a bunch of good wing places down here now. It's a bunch of Northerners that have moved down. So we'll just leave it at that. Go to Little Mama's, get the mozzarella preparation.
You're the 3rd person who has suggested Little Mama's to me, and I have not tried it yet. So I'm gonna have to go try it out.
If you like Italian, it's great.
Where do you see the Queens Sports Network heading?
Ooh, hopefully we get to the point where we're almost fully student run. Hopefully we get to the point where we can do multiple games at once. Right now with we have one control room. We have one set of cameras. So doing multiple games is very difficult. Mm-hmm. Ideally, we'd love to get to a point where we can do everything all the time.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Anytime. Thank you for doing this. You're doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Before a city turns to you for answers,
Here, strength comes from within. Practice makes perfect.
And curiosity knows no bounds.
I believe Queen's graduates will create a better tomorrow. Where we go next? That's up to us. Here, strength comes from within. Practice
Before
makes
the city
perfect.
turns to you for answers,
And curiosity knows no
the
bounds.
stories that we tell and
I
told,
believe Queen's graduates
and our
will
nation's
create a
biggest
better
players
tomorrow.
to make their next big move.
Where we go next? That's up to us.
From the bluegrass of Kentucky, the Arkansas River, to the beautiful beaches of Florida. From the bustling streets of Nashville to the soulful sounds of Muscle Shoals and its vibrant cities. Fueled by growth, the Atlantic Sun operates in the fastest growing region in America and broadcasting in over 20 million homes. With access to 9 of the nation's top 80 media markets, including an impressive 6 in the top 50. Our 12 member institutions provide every collegiate experience from public to private to faith-based. All of our member institutions are located in the top 30 states with the most rapid growth, including 8 members located in the top 6. From the beaches to the mountains, the Atlantic Sun is the destination.
I'm unstoppable. I'm a pusher with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. I'm unstoppable today.
Welcome back to your Queen's Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina. I'm here with the women's soccer coach. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How was your spring break? Did you do anything fun?
No. It's always the joke. The players are always like, "Where are you going, coach?" I'm like, "The office." But it's a different work week because you don't have the on-field thing, so you catch up with a lot of different stuff, and we have some exciting events coming up. So nice to get ahead.
Good. On one of your pages, it says your dad's favorite thing was to say, find something you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life. As a fine arts major, was coaching something you always saw yourself pursuing?
No, not in the slightest. Even at graduation, I wasn't intending to continue on in sport. I got a job in graphic design and marketing at an arena in Central Ohio in Columbus, and then started working at a local high school and had one of those aha moments of I didn't dislike my job, but I was waiting for the coaching piece in the afternoon and working with the athletes. So then kind of took the leap and flipped it on its head. Decided to do the coaching full time and use my art to support different things, whether it's gear, graphic design, art, whatever it can be. Even just bringing crafting into the team for a little bonding activity. It can kind of exist everywhere.
Well, you've had some of the most amazing experiences with soccer, including coaching or helping with one of the Women's USA national deaf soccer teams. Tell me more about this experience.
U.S. Soccer has really put a lot in recently to their extended national team programs, and the deaf women's team is one of those teams. But long before they were a part of this group, they've been, and it is a bold statement to say, but the most successful soccer team at the U.S. national level, and that's including the full national team. The World Cups that they've won, the Deaf Olympics that they've won, the successes that the individuals have had, it's special. Their coaches themselves have both won World Cups as players themselves at the full national team level. So it was exceptional to be a part of their staff and to help out. It's actually something that I'm hoping in this coming year in particular I get to step back into and really engage again.
Mm-hmm. communication is such a massive part of so many sports like volleyball, rugby, lacrosse, and soccer. How do these ladies communicate out on the field?
It's one of the most incredible things. It's why, outside of getting to be a part of that staff and working within a community that uses ASL, because it's what I studied in college myself, I was so intrigued because I had the same question. How do you do this without being able to communicate and to instruct using your voice? And these young women run the spectrum. Some are have no hearing aids, some are profoundly deaf, some have the cochlear implant, so they don't even know sign language. So that creativity of how they communicate and how they work together on the field is really special to be around, and it's a lot of fun because there's no one answer. You just kind of have to work and collaborate and figure it out.
Did you learn any American Sign Language?
Oh, it's great because it's something that I learned through my college years, so being immersed back in it, you immediately start to use your hands more, and even if you're not signing, you're gesturing and you're physically responding in kind with the person because that's what you're seeing in the language that they're using. So it definitely kind of brought up some old skills and some old vocabulary that I hadn't used in a while.
That's amazing. Yeah. Not many people can say that.
It is. It's a great sport and a great team. They're really exceptional.
Spring season is in full swing. Give me a bit of a preview of what we should expect in the fall.
Like you said, we're in full swing. We got to play. It's something that Coach Poole, who is the coach of the Carolina Ascent, which is the professional women's soccer team here in Charlotte, has been working to get us on the schedule and to play an exhibition, and we had our first opportunity to do that. So that was truly fantastic for our players to get to share the field with current professional players and to coach on the sidelines with such an accredited coach and staff himself. It was a great experience. So we kicked off the spring, jumping full gun just into a pro team that is in the middle of the heart of their season. So that was really fun. And then we played another match before they went on break. They'll come back, and we have our Striano Sevens event, which is named after Sammy Striano, who's one of our alumni who sadly passed in 2015. So having that event where we have multiple teams come and we play a ton of games in one day, and all in her honor to kind of keep her name and her legacy alive, is always a fun staple of our spring. And then we finish out going out to Gardner Webb, Catawba, and UNCC, that crosstown or just north of Rival. So it's going to end really well for us and put us in a good place going into summer.
Looking at your team versus a professional team, what are some of the key concepts that you took out of it?
Speed of play and just the exceptional knowledge of the game. Everything they do is purposeful, thought through, and on the same page, because we talk about that in our program all the time. There's only one right way to play this game, and it's on the same page, because you can do it a lot of different ways, but that coordination, that understanding of this is how we are going to play and implement our game model, it was truly special to share the field with it, because you can go to pro games, but when you see them kind of systematically pick you apart, you're like, oh, shoot, how are we going to solve that one when it's so crisp and it's so well done? And then the athleticism and the abilities of these women, it truly is, it puts it into perspective when you're sharing the field, because we have an incredible team and a highly athletic team, and we're just getting better every season. But then you put yourself next to that group and you're like, ooh, we got some places to go and some places to grow. So, and that's why you do it, is to expose yourself. And we'll continue that relationship. We already have an exhibition scheduled for next spring, and then the fall of 2026. And really, we'll play them two times a year as long as Coach Poole is open for it. So it's really wonderful.
Your team lifts every single week, same morning, right after my team,
there you go,
and they always look so motivated, ready to get after it. How do you keep the motivation going throughout the spring season?
Honestly, it's them. It really is them, because you'll notice for our strength staff, I try not to hover in that space, so I try to keep my staff out. We'll pop through every now and then just to kind of come through. But really, it's the players. They love what they do, and they understand what that room is going to give to them. Coach Laurie is doing a great job with them. This is their first season with Coach Laurie. And you know, it's going to help them be faster and stronger, more dynamic, which helps their game, but it also helps them stay healthy and fit in regards to injury prevention. So it's such an important part. So yeah, three days a week, no matter if we're in season or not.
Looking back to when you played at Ohio State versus your players today, what are the differences between when you played versus your team now?
They're better. They're just better. I mean, listen, it's my final season was 2026, so I'm coming up on 2026, 2006. So I'm coming up on 2 decades since I was an active player. Like, the level, the commitment, the understanding of like what you are and what you've done, especially in your youth space going into the collegiate space, it's just completely different. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, they get more gear, they get to travel more, they get more food, better food, right? Jim was just talking about all the awesome restaurants we get to take them to. So it's bigger, it's better, but so are the players. So it's a lot of fun to be able to facilitate that, because I'm really proud. And I fell in love with the sport and the experience while I was at Ohio State. So to be able to now give that to our student athletes, it's a big pride point for me.
Mm-hmm. It's known that you love good quotes. What's your favorite quote?
Oh, no. Oh, gosh. This is one of those moments you have so many, but then none are really popping out to it. It's funny, we've been going through and using Ted Lasso as a culture and a team development opportunity. And there's so many great one-lines for that. And we've like kind of jokingly as a staff started like keeping tally, like how many times can you throw something in within the run of anything and not force it. But there's a great scene and a great line from that show. And it's be curious, not judgmental. And I love that thought. I love that idea, because it's really just about how you give grace to other people. You talk about earning trust and people being kind to each other, but really it's a choice. No matter how people treat you, no matter what's going on in their life, can you just be curious and give them the benefit of the doubt? If they're having a great day, if they're having a terrible day, if they're being cruel to you, if they're being kind to you, there's so many things going on in our lives that none of us know about. And that idea of, I'm going to give you an opportunity I'm going to think the best of you no matter what, because that's my choice then in how I'm acting. So that's a powerful one for me right now, and something that's living heavy in our team space also.
You have a strong passion for art, photography, and design. Can you share more about this passion?
I think I've just been really lucky from a young age. It's always just been sports and art, and those two things have gotten to coexist. And like I said, I've found ways to leverage both of them on both sides. There's a wonderful space in sport for art, and they talk about the creativity of being an athlete and how you think about things. Even I think people sometimes might even misjudge your sport, like, oh, it's so simple, but there's a lot of processing and thought and idea that comes from, no, you're not just doing it this way. It's, how could I, right? And that creative process and that creative thinking, that is art. So it's not just painting, drawing, and the things that sometimes people think about. I talk about it with my players all the time. It's a huge pet peeve. Well, I'm not that creative. Yes, you are. It's just not ink and pen and paint. It's how you play the game. It's thinking, how can I get the ball over there when it's blocked off? How can I spin? How can I defend? It's so many different things. How can I connect with people? It's just a way of thinking that I think has served me well in how I approach people, how I approach my student athletes, because it's never just one fit. It's how can you look at something and figure out something new or a process. One of my least favorite things is, well, why do we do it this way? Well, because we've always done it this way. Well, that's not an answer or a reason. That's just lazy. So that creative process and that art love and background, I think is so fun. And I think it's such a great thing for this type of a space, because you can get pigeonholed. I'm just a soccer player. No, you're not. You're all these millions of things. And that happens to be one of the things that's flourished in my life along with the sport.
How do you go about teaching your players how to do that?
Slowly but surely. And some of them know it already. They feel it already. But sometimes when it's that person who doesn't think they have it, just giving them opportunity to try and fail and being safe in the failure, making sure that it's okay, that when they try something, that you don't shut them down. You just encourage them to go again and problem solve and try it a different way, or do it again because they're going to be a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Last year, you made a few episodes with the Kickin' It series.
I know.
Where you took a few lessons with the field
Coach
hockey.
Kelly.
Oh.
Yeah, she was one of them.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
You never got a golf lesson.
I know. I tried very hard. Tennis was next up, and then the things there is literally video of my staff playing volleyball with Coach Jeremy and Coach Hannah that has never come out. Sooner or later, it's gonna pop out somewhere. But no, you put it together, and I'm on board. And even better, I want the players. I want our players to come and learn golf. I want you out on the soccer field. That was always the end goal. Was okay. Let's get some momentum with us running around trying to be a little silly, taking those chances, failing, having fun, and then let's put the student athletes in it and see what you guys can do, because I think it's awesome.
Absolutely, let's do that. We'll set that
You're
up.
in charge now.
This weekend, Queens Women's Soccer is hosting a special event at the Dixon Field. You'd mentioned a little bit earlier. Could you go over the significance of this event?
Yeah, as I mentioned, Sammy Striano, she's a graduate of ours. She played starting her career in 2007 and was on and off the field and was exceptional in all way. When you speak to anybody that coached and interacted with her, she was the epitome of I'm here to help others be great, and that elevated herself. She had a great love for working in the youth game as well. So there was just a great connection within soccer that she brought to this space. She sadly passed in 2015, so this event existed before I got here, and I was able to keep it going, and it's just a really special day. A lot of times her family, who is from Florida, gets to come up. Unfortunately, this year they're not able to make it, but it's really wonderful when they get to come here and be connected to this thing that she was so passionate and she had so much love for, because she really represents the best of what we're trying to be. So to keep that name going and to expose it to so many different schools. I mean, you know, in certain years we're at 16, 20 teams. But then again, with that youth, we're really pushing to start to try to add a youth tournament in connection with it, where we run it on side-by-side fields instead of just college teams, so that that youth component can come back into Sammy's legacy and see the college teams and interact, and our girls would be coaches with them on the sidelines and just create this really wonderful love and experience within who she was and how she stayed connected with the sport and how we want to honor her.
Well, she sounds like an amazing person, somebody we should all look up to. Yeah. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you very much as well.
Every journey has a starting point. Each student has a moment when talent and passion meet opportunity. At the intersection of challenge and support, self-discovery fuels breakthroughs, and leaders emerge prepared for what's next. I grew up loving music. It possesses this very real, very unique power for connection and healing. And my journey as a music therapist took shape here.
I discovered the pool offered a more level playing field and the chance to push my limits. At Queens, there's so much opportunity, and our potential for greatness accelerates with every step of our collective journey.
I've always had a knack for chemistry, and that talent has magnified since I got here, rippling out in new directions. I'm not afraid to take risks. I believe challenges make us stronger, and innovation only comes when we're willing to lean into the unknown.
I'm still not sure what the future holds, but whatever it is, Queens has prepared me for it.
My professors push me in the classroom and believe in my abilities.
My coaches, professors, all of us, we're one team, one family.
Here, my voice is heard. I'm given the freedom to be myself and charter new opportunities for change.
Here, strength comes from within.
Practice makes perfect.
And curiosity knows no bounds.
I believe Queens graduates will create a better tomorrow. Where we go next? That's up to us.
Welcome to the Atlantic Sun, where heart-pounding moments are born and where champions rise above. Where speed defies limits and precision finds its mark. Where millions of fans nationwide cheer for excellence, determination, and fairness. Where public, private, and faith-based schools compete side by side, fostering sportsmanship and unity. From the beaches to the mountains, the Atlantic Sun is the destination.
See all the Royals coaches live and in person during one of their many events held on the fields and courts of Queens University. All tickets for Queens home games can be purchased at queensathletics.com/tickets.
Welcome back to your Queens Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina. I'm here with the women's head lacrosse coach. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing just fine.
Good.
You today came straight from the fields from Queens Sports Complex just down the road where you defeated Niagara University. Give us a recap of the game.
Yeah, so I did go home and shower, so freshened up a little bit for you, but I'm so proud of the girls. It's been a really, I would say, challenging season. I made a harder schedule. We've been learning so much, and there's so many good things that are happening in our locker room right now. And it's hard when you don't get the win to prove that, and I'm just so proud of them that they're sticking through, and we're learning and we're getting better every day, and today they got rewarded with the win. We've been working on a couple of our lulls throughout the games, and today I think some of our just adjustments that we made, the girls really they did what we needed them to do, so really happy for them.
Kayleen and Elise were your top scorers during the game, and they are on the team. What do these girls do to put themselves in scoring positions?
Yeah, they have a nose for the cage, and as they continue to develop in their career, they're just becoming so aware of the game. When's the time to push? When's the time to pull back and have possession? They're just doing great. I think the fact that they have chemistry from high school, they've played together for a long time. They just get each other. They read each other's minds. Sometimes I don't know how they do it. But they're so humble, and they just have so much fun, which is really, it just passes off to the team. And we had a lot of other goal scorers today too. I'm really happy about that. But yeah, with the two of them leading, it's just really fun to watch as a coach.
Devin Moretti, a freshman who was a captain her junior and senior years during high school, has hit the ground running. What is it like to have a freshman come in and perform like the way she is?
Yeah, so I experienced that as a player myself, not as a goalie, but had a freshman come in and play behind me. So I've been able, I think, to help her from like a teammate perspective of like, what is it like to have a freshman goalkeeper in behind you? How can we protect her? How can we also take some pressure off and have some fun? But she's really just stepped in. She's a big presence on the field, and she wants to get better. She's talking to me in game after game. How can I do this better? What can I do? Yada, yada. And sometimes I'm like, Devin, have fun and play. And she's just really stepping up to the challenge. She's doing a great job.
Your team has so many fantastic girls: Carson, Jordan, Kayleen, Elise, and Devin.
Yeah.
What do these ladies do to ensure they dominate every time they step out on the field?
Yeah, I think they do a great job of keeping it simple. They like to compete. They enjoy the grind. We've talked a lot about that in the last week of, hey, we're transitioning to a Division I team. Like, we gotta enjoy the grind because that's what we've signed up for, and that's also what they excel at. So they just bring a lightness to practice. They bring a competitiveness to practice. They know when to laugh and lighten things up, but they know just when to turn it on as a competitor. So I go back to that word fun. They just have a lot of fun together.
They really do. Some of those videos you guys have on your website are hilarious.
Yeah, you can catch us on Lacrosse Extras a good amount of times, so we have fun.
You have exactly a week until your next game at home here in Charlotte, facing Wofford College at the Queens Sports Complex. What are your plans to ensure a win for next week?
Yeah, I think this week-long break is coming at a really good time. We got 2 more non-conference games heading into conference after. We've played a lot. We've played a lot of midweek games followed by a weekend game. So, I think our bodies need to rest, our minds need to rest a little bit. We're going to have some fun, maybe do a little bit of kickball that's a team favorite, but also get back to work with some film and game prep. But just this week, just to watch some other people play, and just to take a little mental break from the game. I think that's going to be really important as we head into next week.
The ASUN play begins with Liberty on March 29th.
Yeah.
It's time to kick it up a gear. Is there anything you want to change moving forward to get an ASUN championship?
That's a great question. Something I told our team at the end of the game today in the locker room is don't count out Queens. outside looking in, our record, it's like, oh, Queens is having a down year. And I'm like, y'all, we're right where we're supposed to be. We're getting better every single day. And nobody knows what's going on inside of our locker room unless you're in it. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of really good things. So don't count us out. We want it. We want to keep going. And they're just really eager to learn right now. So as far as things to change, once conference play comes, everybody's 0-0. And we got to turn it up a little bit. So I would say biggest things are our decision making, and then draw controls. It's something that we're continuing to work on as a team.
How are we keeping the motivation up and the mental game up?
Yeah, that's great. So we're trying to do something that we've never done before. We're trying to do something that this school hasn't done before. It's win an ASUN championship. Before we get that far, we got to focus on what's right in front of us. If we focus too far on our goal, we're going to miss the process. So we're focusing on the process right now and celebrating the little things. We've actually made this week Gratitude Week for women's lacrosse, and what can we be grateful for? How can we celebrate the little wins to keep us motivated?
Your team is close to the halfway point of the season. What are you doing to ensure your team ensures like the drive?
Yeah. I think it goes back to that gratitude piece. I think, again, you can look at the record and be like, oh my gosh, we're losing, but these are tight games. And we also have the opportunity to win these games. So it's like, what's that little extra motivation or extra little pizzazz that we need to keep going? So that's what we're looking at as a staff. That's what we're talking about just within our players too. So that's the biggest thing.
You spent some time coaching in Uganda. What is one key thing you brought back with you that you're going to share with your team?
Yeah, coincidence, good timing, perspective. Again, I think you look at a record, and this team is used to winning. We're used to, pulling out close games. So I think the fact that we haven't been able to in the beginning of the season, again, goes back to the gratitude and shifting our perspective to, we're not getting blown out. We just need to make a couple little differences here and there, but we're also just learning at a really big rate right now. So just focusing on that, and then again, bringing in perspective. I think I saw some things that I never thought I would see in this lifetime. You could have all the things in the world, but that doesn't buy you happiness. So really just focusing on the joy with one another and loving one another. That's probably the biggest thing I took from my time in Africa. So trying to bring it to the team too.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I made the better choice, and so can you.
Before a city turns to you for answers, before the stories that need telling are told, and our nation's biggest companies look to you to make their next big move. Whenever, however, you're called upon to step up, Queens will prepare you to do just that. Because here, Royals rise.
Get ready for the ASUN Women's Soccer Championship. Watch the top teams battle it out for the crown and a ticket to the NCAA tournament. Catch all the action live starting October 31st on ESPN+.
The Eats on East project showcases the Royals pride that spreads through East Boulevard, walking distance from Queens University campus. Royals fans and visitors are encouraged to take a walk to the legendary East Boulevard to culminate the true Queens experience at a variety of restaurants. Home of the Coaches Show, JJ's Red Hots was the first East on East partner. The movement quickly grew as other partners joined, including Lebowski's, Shomars, Jersey Mike's, Bricks Pizza, Kid Cashew, and Penguins Drive-In. The Eats on East partners proudly support Queens and its mission to create and connect fans and families.
Here, strength comes from within.
Practice makes perfect.
And curiosity knows no bounds.
I believe Queens graduates will create a better tomorrow. Where we go next? That's up to us.
Welcome back to your Queens Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina. I'm here with a piece of the men's basketball team. How are you guys doing?
Great, how you doing?
Good. Daniel, best conference finish in second, the D1 era of Queens, and ASUN quarterfinals appearance. What are some of the keys to the season's success?
I'll start first. I think the main thing, we had a championship mindset all year. Coach Leonard preached it every single day. Do things how we should, if we want to win a championship. So, and these guys came out and they executed the game plan day in and day out.
Yeah, basically same as Coach Bailey said. We just came in every day for practice and we gave it 100% and just trying to get 1% better every day.
And also just to tie in with it, like every day, like we all want to win. So that's really how it is.
Or Dan, explain your role with the team, both basketball-wise and psychologically, physiologically.
Okay, so technically my title is rebound coordinator. So when these guys don't box out, for example, I'm the guy standing up, telling them hit bodies, I'm yelling, go get, crash, especially for this one-man band. You know, he's supposed to go get and chase the balls every play. Sometimes he doesn't, so I make sure, you know, that he's on his job. But, I mean, I think I bring, you know, positive energy to the guys. You know, I was a former player myself professionally. I also play here at Queens, so I've been through what they're going through now. So just to give them an encouraging word, you know, let them know I'm there for them, and they need me.
Tell us more about your time here at Queens and professional playing.
Oh, I love my time here at Queens. Obviously, we didn't have this Levine Center. We had the oven, and then I had a great 4 years here, you know, and I just love seeing where Queens has progressed, especially being Division I, and people knowing all about what Queens has to offer in the great city. So, and like I said, now I'm here to get to coach in Levine Center, and it's been an awesome time to be with these guys.
Fabian, you're from Canada, just like me. How did you get to Queens?
Really through my prep school. The recruiting process was a little hard, but traveling to the States, playing in certain circuits and tournaments, seems like the coaching staff found me from the games, and they reached out to me, and then went on from there and found my spot here.
Berman, you're from even farther away, Israel. How did you end up in Charlotte?
So I had an agent in Israel who has a pretty good relationship with Coach Bobby and Grant. So he just connected me to them, and it was like a click straight away, and I knew I'm gonna end up here.
Team chemistry is so huge. What is the team chemistry like on this team?
I think it's great. We love hanging out with each other. We love each other's company, so it's super fun.
Coach, what do these two players bring to the team?
They bring a lot, you know. Obviously, they're great players, you know, but my main thing is they're great people as well. So it's fun to be around them off the court. On the court, Berman, he's a fantastic shooter, offensively very skilled. Obviously, they both of them have, they're big guys, long with size, with advanced length. He can guard multiple positions, rebounding. So like I said, they're just great overall players, and they continue to get better. They're young, they have a lot more basketball to play, and we're just happy to have them here at Queens.
Fabian, as a freshman, what was year one at Queens like for you?
I'd say there's definitely a lot of growth and learning, especially from the vets like Leo and Jax. At the beginning it was tough, I'll be honest, but as time went on, like I found it easier and easier from the help from the older guys and the coaching staff.
Vernon, same question. As a freshman, what was year one like for you?
I won't call myself a freshman since I played pro before I came here. I'm going to be 21 this season, but it is a new environment here in the U.S. and the game is different, so it was a lot of adjusting and a lot of up and downs, but I'm happy with how this season ended and how well I did.
What was it like transitioning from professional basketball to here?
I think the landscape in college is like sort of like professional now with everything, so it wasn't that difficult, but the game is kind of different, 30-second shot clock and 2 halves instead of four quarters, so it was different.
This is a question for both of you. What are your highlights so far?
Yes, the first conference win, quarterfinal conference win in school's history, I guess.
Probably agree with that, honestly, yeah. Just making,
Hard to beat it?
Yeah.
Coach, you are a wealth of basketball knowledge, played here at Queens, 7-year professional career. This experience, how do you bring it into coaching here at Queens?
Like I stated earlier, it's just, being there for them. If they have advice, questions, and obviously being like, for example, Berman played in Israel. We have a coach, J.R. Reynolds, played in Israel as well. So we can talk about different things, outside of just Queens basketball, related to life around the world, traveling. So I just use that to try to relate to guys the best way I can.
With so many guys from different backgrounds, how does this team become one of the better teams in the Atlantic Sun Conference?
I think it's really on them and the work they put in. They come in every day, they work day in, day and night out. When we're in the gym with them and also on their own, and then they developed their chemistry on their own. They went out there and competed. A lot of these guys were under-recruited coming out of high school or college or professionally, and they see guys that maybe they've been more recruited than them, and they take it personally, and they play together, and we were successful that way.
Okay, this is one for each of you, starting as a coach. What is the most memorable moment of the season?
Most memorable moment this season, I would say winning in the quarterfinals at Gulf Coast. Of course, we wanted to host a home game. We didn't get to host a home game, but to go there and end their season for the 3rd time in 3 years and to make the first time in semifinal, it was a pretty good moment.
Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for watching the OrthoCarolina Coaches Show. So we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a good question.
Milestones.
Oh, that's a great question. It was incredible.